Hi, welcome to PLZ Soccer's Football Podcast. I'm Peter Martin. Alan Rough, Tam Cowan, and our very special guest this week is Andy Cameron, a big Rangers fan, of course, a lover of football, and I have to say, looking at your back catalogue, your CV is impressive, I have to say. Superstar in a UK scale.
What does that mean, CV? Don't know about well, that's very kind of thanks, Peter. Aye, at my age, you look back and say, it's been a good life, you know. You don't know where it's going. You know, you could live 20 minutes or 20 years, so you just go on with it. Your family's there, your grandchildren are there, so that's your life. That's how I look at my life, you know. And the Rangers, I go and watch the Rangers, which I've done for 75 years. And see if you take humour out of life, it's not worth living. Yeah. It's definitely not worth living. I sat yesterday and I looked at my iPad about Jewish humour, right? Daft wee things, you know, like guys like George Burns and all that. And it was great. It just made me laugh out loud. A wee lassie goes back to the baker's and she says, Mama says there was a fly in the raisin muffin. She says, tell her to bring a fly by, I'll give her a raisin. You know, I just love that. It's great. And the other one's the wee woman, the grandmother takes a wee Wayne down to the beach and she falls asleep. The Wayne goes into the water and gets taken out, you know, about a mile and a half. Help, help. And everybody's up to the ground. Oh, get him. So the big, well-made lifeguard dives in, battered against the rocks. It's really, really choppy, and the Wayne's screaming. Gets out there after about half an hour and gets away, and a shark comes. He batters, lumps out the shark, right? Gets back in after another half an hour, and the wee Wayne's lifeless on the sand, and he's pumping him. You know, it's okay. We'll get him round. After about half an hour, the Wayne goes, fine, there you are. You know, the wee granny goes, he had a hat.
And that is how you build a gag up, eh?
Absolutely.
Now, I've got three things for you because Tam, obviously, look at Roughie trying to take care of your game. There you are. Take that coffee, will you? Tam said to me, you know, it's not a kind of an old versus new. It's two guys who've actually, you two are good because you've worked the circuit, you know, and you can react to things. And Tam said, you know, this will be great, you know, because I'll be able to mention a word and you could give me a gag and he'll be able to try and give us a gag on it.
Absolutely.
Are you happy with that?
He's an encyclopedia.
He did it the other now with the muffins, you know, because I don't want to be lassie who's in with her father in the barbers and he's getting his hair cut. It's all right, it's for the podcast. and she's eating a big chocolate muffin and the barber says, you realise you need to stand out of the way, you're going to get hair in your muffin. I just said, I know I'm going to get a big pair of tits as well.
That's brilliant.
That's
brilliant.
Right.
Since we were talking about muffins, did I tell you about that last
And when he mentioned sharks, this is one I'll get out of Roughie's head, but do you know that a shark will only attack you if you're wet?
Now, here's the thing then, right? Okay, let's just test because you two are fantastic pros at it. Wife guy. Oh no, well she might be watching this. I've had two actually. My first, I mean, and I wish you hadn't mentioned it because it is a thing that I still think about. 50 years ago, on the 27th of March this year, 1970, my first wife ran away with a guy across the road, and I still miss him. And, and I'll do the whole gag. I come home, it was my fault. I was a long distance lorry driver at the time on the Isle of Wight, and I come home after about 3 weeks, and she's sitting with a jacket across her lap, greeting us. What's up with you, love of my life, flower of the forest? What ails you? She says, get to. I said, what? Calm down. She said, beat it. She said, I was taking this jacket to cleaners and I find this in the pocket. Slip of paper. On it says Margarita Air 235331. I said, it's a betting slip. I said, Margarita's a horse. It was running the air in the 235 and it won at 33-1. Oh, she says, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I've misjudged you. And I took her upstairs and I made love to her for 63 minutes. It was the night the clocks went forward. But 3 days later, I'm coming back in, fucking suitcase right out the window, whack. What's up with you now? Your horse phone. Right. And I'm happy with that one.
There we go. Well, I'm not even talking to my wife now because she says to me the other night, she says, you're nothing but a selfish lover. Well, I nearly choked in my bobby. It's for the podcast.
Podcast all day.
You can use the F word.
Right. Kids.
Oh, kids, no. I
Kids.
didn't know you were going to do this. I could have written
My wee lassie, she's in the school yesterday, they're all doing the what does your dad do, you know? And wee Jimmy, it's always wee Jimmy, innit? Or wee Johnny sitting next to my wee lassie. What does your dad do? Please, miss, my dad runs Barlinnie Prison. Says, oh, he's the governor. He says, no, he's the hardest bastard in there.
Right, okay.
The teacher, well, she's a
Great, Alec, we do this every week.
brilliant. Aye, her birthday, she says it's my birthday on Monday, and they'll come in, you know, Mary gives her a bunch of flowers. She says, your mum and dad have got a florist shop. She says, I know this is flowers, shops it up. Oh, they're beautiful, Mary, thank you very much. And Teresa comes out, it's Catholic school, so this wee Wayne comes out. Teresa, she goes, there you are, miss, you know, and she goes, oh, she says, your mum and daddy are bakers. She says, this might be a cake. And she opens it, oh, she says, that's beautiful. She says, Tommy, what's that you've got? And she says, it's a parcel, miss, happy birthday. And she looks at it, she says, well, his mother and father have got a pub. And she says, oh, it's leaking, Tommy. She says, wait a minute. She goes, it's lager. She says, no, miss. She says, it's heavy. No, miss. She goes, it's Guinness. She says, no, miss, it's a puppy.
Right, you said the florist, there's a boy who gets in the shop and it's on the floors and the window and all that. And he goes in and he says, could I have a bunch of roses for my wife, please? He says, oh, sorry, sir, this isn't a florist. He says, what? He says, this isn't a florist. He says, what we do here actually is we perform male circumcisions. And he says, so what you got all the flowers in the window for? He says, what do you want us to put in the window?
Right. And the last one is Friends.
Oh, Friends. Tam, on you go.
Yeah.
Friends. Friends, my best pal. My best pal walked into a pub. And I said, what you got there? He said, it's the strongest spider in the world, right? I said, what you want about your dick's the strongest spider? He said, it's the strongest spider in the world, you know? He says, watch us. And he put the spider down the bar. He says, it'll lift a pint, right? And he put the wee spider down the bar. And the spider went like that, pint of lager, lifted it up, right? Okay, might not have been able to do it if it was heavy, right? That's just a bonus, right? So he lifted it down. And all the boys are saying, that doesn't make it the strongest spider in the world. He says, watch us. He says, it could lift the bar, take the bar right out the foundations, puts the spider down the flare, and the wee spider had to use 2 arms this time. Oh, bar right out the foundations in the pub. The boys say, that doesn't make it the bloody strongest spider in the world. He says, right, it'll lift the bar with you 3 standing on the bar, right? Thanks, right. 3 of them jump up in the bar. Guy puts the spider back down the flare. A boy just walks in and he goes, imagine 3 you fear to a spider.
Well, this takes you back to tenement living, you know.
Yes.
It was one of my pals, we were winding him up, you know, no long married and all that sort of stuff. He's doing the old doggy fit. No, she'll not let me do it. Oh, face to face or not on, you know. And we wound him up that much. He went home and he went, look, we need to do something. He says, they're all talking about this doggy fashion. Apparently it's great, you know. And she says, all right. She says, as long as we do it in a street where nobody knows us. So it's a tenement, right? So they decide, no, she says, you're not getting it. Look, you can have it, but no doggy fashion, face to face or nothing. So they're in the set in bed and he's doing his best and they get stuck, right? So she's going, oh, fuck, what will we do? Bangs the door, Jesse, come through. The phones are like, come through. Jesse, come through. Oh, okay, well. Jesse, what the hell's that? What's that? We're stuck. Oh, she says, don't worry about it. I'll run down and get an ambulance. So the ambulance comes. They throw a blanket over him and carry him down the stairs, still locked together. And she's going, oh, for fuck. She says, I've been talking to Stevie. She says, for years and years. He says, shut your mouth. If you'd have done it the way I wanted, we could have walked out of close.
Right, I'm happy. Roughie, are you on this podcast at all?
Oh, no, I can't tell jokes.
No, and of course that. But the one thing that's great about you being here is, of course, you and Andy have been on Top of the Pops.
Oh,
yeah, we said, I don't know, Andy, were you on before us or after us?
What year
we
were
were
you?
78 and 82.
Well, I was 78 just, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
I was, I got to number 6.
Yeah.
Number 1 in Scotland.
Yeah. Who wrote the song?
I wrote the words, right? But it's an old song. It's an old tune. Who's that team we call the Rangers? And that.
Yes.
Anyway, long story short, I'm not going into the details. Chapel Music actually, they took the money for it, you know. Anyway,
The irony.
Aye, the irony, I know. Oh, aye. Anyway, you're right, Tam. I never even thought of that. Aye. So, I mean, it was, you were on with the Scottish team, eh? I was on my own. 38 years of age, you know, you're standing there, you know, you're shaking because it's live. And my dad and my two brothers, they had taxis. What's his name? Pete Shipton, who produced the record. He says, we need the 3 taxis to get us from Heathrow into the studio. And the studio's not that big, but it's really, really high. And it's, you know, all the equipment, you can see it here, but in the top of the pop studio, I'm standing there, Scotland jersey, Tartan Tammy, banner around my and I'm just looking right at the camera, and my dad's going about going, I can't believe it takes all these lights and all these cameras for one fucking half-hour programme. And I'm going, shut up, give us a break here, I'm trying to remember the word. And the door opened about 8 feet away, and in comes Generation X, the lead singer, Billy Idol. 6'5", he's got an Urwally haircut and platform soles. He looked about 10 feet, right? I'm standing there, Scotland jersey, Tartan banner, Tartan Tammy on, and he's looked down at me, and I've looked up at him, and he went, who the fuck are you? Before I could say anything, my dad's like, who you fucking talking to? He says, that's my boy, 38 years of age. Oh, Jesus. What an experience. But you wouldn't change it. It's fantastic, you know.
Did you have to actually ever perform it live, or did they insist, as you did at that time, you mind?
No, I did it live.
You did it live on Top of Pops,
I was on twice, but the first one was a recording of the second one, but it was live, the first one.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it was on a Wednesday night, and Top of the Pops was on Thursday. Right, when I say live, it wasn't being shown, but they did it as live, Tam, right? And I was in Lachore Welfare on the Thursday night, and the room's black. There's a big telly at the front. Why don't you see a wee man on Top of the Pops? And I just stood at the back and I'm going, this is it, you know. Either they like it or they don't. If they don't like it, I'm back in the motor, you know. And the lights, after it up, and the lights went up, and I was trying to get out, and this big sort of minor guy belted me in the back of the head. Fucking brilliant, wee man. You didn't let us down. So that all the money or whatever, and all the fame, it doesn't mean as much as your peers. See, you know, it's just one of these things.
Who was on Top of the Pops when you were on? What other acts? Can you remember?
There's only one act I can remember, to be honest.
There we go.
Tight Fit.
Right.
The Lion Sleeps Tonight.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Because
they
they'd one main singer,
was
was the
82,
guy
yeah.
who was actually, they didn't actually sing it, it was a German guy that recorded it.
Oh, right.
But they got models.
Aye.
So they had the main guy who would mime the song. That's why Roughie was you were asking there. They had a main guy who would sing the song, and then they had 2 stunning looking birds.
Right.
Now, obviously, you've got a great story with Billy Idol comes in, and it's a great wee one. It's typically your, the Glaswegian, angle on this. But Roughie, the 2 models from Tight Fit, there was a kind of a bridge between Scotland and England where you worked together. The 2 models were stunning.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell Andy what happened and the player involved?
No, England were on that night as well.
Oh, were they?
That night
Aye.
we were on, and I got speaking to Glenn Hoddle, who was quite interested in the group, obviously the same as me, because it was a really good song. So we got talking to them, and they were telling us the plight of they're not actually singing, and they don't actually get paid either. They weren't getting paid by the thing at the end. So we carried on the conversation back to the hotel as you would, and it was a sad story. But you have to put up with it, and just carry on, and regardless.
Yeah.
You and Glenn Hoddle?
Yeah.
Tight Fit?
I know the guys.
just the 2. Just the 2 girls.
Andy,
that tops it. I mean,
no. After my father had an altercation with your man, my 2 brothers, they can't take their eyes out. I don't know if it was Pan's people or there was another group, but and
Legs and Co.
Legs and all that, and they're going, I can hear them, I'm going, shut up, they're going, God, nipples, you get in your jacket and all that stuff, and it's just incredible when you get in there. The kids who have written away maybe 3 or 4 years ago when they're 12 or 13, all of a sudden they're 17 and they get a letter, you're coming into. Now there's this tall, absolutely gorgeous black lassie. She's about 17, 18, and she went,
"Hey, mate, could you sign this?" You know, and I sure. It was a sort of program thing they had. So what's her name? Denise. By best wishes, and she went, "Yeah, who are you?" Brilliant. It's just, and I'll tell you, you have to ask who was on it. Pearl's a singer. What's her name?
Elkie Brooks.
Elkie Brooks. You know, I'm going like that. Here, I'll give you my autograph. You know, she was like that, get them out of the road. She wouldn't sign autographs.
Is that right?
I was raging. You know, because they're paying your wages.
We had a massive. It was a bit of a break that night because when we were all going back to the hotel, Jimmy Savile said, "Can I come back with you?" And we went, "No, you."
This is the most dangerous podcast
I've ever done.
You know, I'm not jumping in there, man.
I'm so glad. The other thing I was
You
going
ever
to say
heard
to
the
you,
off-call?
exactly. The other thing I was going to say to you, and this is, I mean, I'm putting you right in the spot, right? But because you're such a fantastic, you know, turn anywhere we've ever been in company together, the song, it must have been years that since you've actually sang it. Could you give us a wee blast of maybe the first verse?
Right, I'll come to the other side in a minute. I'm going to do an album here.
Right. Because you did have a Rangers song you released as well, didn't you?
I had 2 or 3 Rangers songs, you know. I actually asked, Matt McGinn stayed round the corner from me, and his daughter Eleanor and my lassie Ellen were in the same class at school.
Yeah.
And in the summer, when we wanted the kids in, you just go out in the match suit, and he'd already Wayne's, and he'd be sitting on the step outside his house singing, you know, 20 stories, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "What? I'm thinking of doing a Rangers song." I says, "You any chance you could write it for me?" No, he says, "I wouldn't write either. Rangers or Celtic." He was really didn't like the sectarian thing at all.
Yeah.
He was a really nice guy, wee Matt. Anyway, what were we talking about? Ali's Tartan Army.
Yeah.
We're on the march for Ali's Army. We're going to the Argentine, and we'll really shake them up when we win the World Cup, 'cause Scotland are the greatest football team. That's it.
Fantastic.
See, that record put too much pressure on us. Saying we're going to win the World Cup.
That's how it's always unfair. MD would ever try to slag Andy for that. Andy simply get caught up in the moment the same way that everybody in the country had got caught up in it, the same way that folk were turning on Blue Peter at the time, and there was Ali MacLeod, the farewell in the open top bus
Absolutely,
and all that, you know.
Tenner to get into Hampden to him waving on a bus to you.
I know, amazing. I come out
Incredible.
of Lewis's in Argyle Street after the World Cup, right? I'm walking out and this big, tall guy, he says, "Hey, how did Derek Johnson not get a game in Argentina?" I don't know. He says, "You made that fucking record, didn't you?" He walked away.
By the way, it's a bugbear of Derek's as
Oh.
well. How he never get picked
And
up.
you know what?
gobsmacked.
As I've said to Andy before as well, quite frankly, that the lyric, and Andy's told you there that he wrote the song, England can't do it because they didn't qualify.
That was the hoot.
Dagger through the heart. That is better than Lennon and McCartney, frankly.
Yeah.
That was just brilliant,
Absolutely.
priceless.
And I know you're a big football fan, but I mean, that is the one time I can think of, Andy, and you might correct me if I'm wrong here, where the country suddenly bought into the madness. Because actually there was a point I remember we're thinking, look at the team. Most of them were all European Cup winners, or were going on to UEFA Cup finals. The team was unbelievable, and of course I always noise him up about it. You know, they let us down.
But no, I think the administrative side let us down.
Yeah.
He'll tell you about the hotel and all that in Cordoba. And see the thing, there's ways round about Cordoba called, you know, Bobby Fernandez and all that, you know, and I said, guys went over there and never come home.
We only got 2 nights out, but we're all there, yeah.
And Peter, see when you're talking about that squad, the bottom line is, all kidding aside about Big Derek, I think it was 40 goals he'd scored that season, and he couldn't get a game.
I know.
How great a player did we have then?
But with all due respect, I mean, 1978, you know, Dalglish, Souness, Asa Hartford,
Jordan,
Archie Gemmell, Joe Jordan. I mean, it was some
fantastic.
side.
Great player. I mean, and some Ali MacLeod up in a sentence. The guy says to him, "What are you going to do if you win it?" He says, "Retain it."
Aye. Yes,
What was it?
confidence,
What was
absolutely
the reaction? I
brilliant.
mean, it's great because we've got Andy here, you know, with the whole build-up and the song and the hysteria that surrounded it. What was the reaction for the players? Did the players actually think, "Oh, we're under pressure here, we've got to
No, I think the players never bought into we were going to win it. And that's obviously well documented. A lot of the Anglo boys didn't really go on with Ali. They didn't like his very relaxed approach to training. Yeah. Some of his training, and the Scottish boys really got where he was coming from. He was trying to make the training a wee bit relaxed, instead of being too serious. He did do serious stuff, but I remember the first day we go to the training session, and me, Lou McCarthy, was sitting there, and Ali goes, right, a wee warm up, and then we'll do a wee 8 versus 8, and 8 versus 8 was the Anglos versus the Scottish boys, and he goes, there's only one wee addition here. He says, after you pass the ball to somebody, you've got to go and tig them. And the Anglos are going, what? You've got to, no, once you pass the ball, you've got to go and touch them. And it was, after that, it was just...
He was a real character.
Oh, he was. I loved him.
No doubt about it. Just out of curiosity, tell Andy, this is great. You're not the best guy for doing impressions, but tell him about Kubias and what he said to you before and after.
He never went into details, He always thought it was all about you, not about the other team. But when we were in the dressing room for the Peru game, he was telling them all like corners for us and free kicks for us. And I was going out the door. I said to Mali, you've not really told us anything about this team. Is there any special players or anybody that can do something a wee bit different? He says, no, son, there's nothing special about this team at all. It could be his swam on the outside, he's fit. And he goes, I come in after the game, I says, Ali, Jesus Christ, you never told us there was a player like that in their team. He says, I've never seen them play.
By the way,
that sums it up as well, doesn't it?
It's an ultimate nightmare. We're talking about football, and you've sang the song, but the career. You started off with saying, you just went on and you were positive about things, and if it lasted a week, great. But if it, your career, never mind being a comedian, take the high road. That was unbelievable.
You get breaks, in your career. Everybody, Tam's had a break, you've had a break, Fitba, you've had a break, and what you do. It's just that sometimes you make a mistake. We made Ali's Tartan Army, and we should have put a Fitba song on the other side of it. But what we put on the other side of it was, I want to be a punk rocker, right?
Yes.
Now, if we leave that aside, put a Fitba song on, Ali's Tartan Army, get papped to the World Cup, you go, right, we'll release that, and it might have been a different story. Who knows? But that, just things happen in your life. Sometimes you make the right decision, sometimes you don't. A guy called John Temple, who was the producer of High Road, he said to me, he was in a pantomime once, and he said, would you do a wee 6-week thing in High Road? And I went, no. And he says, you don't fancy it? I says, I fancy it. I said, but I'm not doing 6 weeks. I says, get me a part that I can sort of build on, and Chick Cherry was the part, and it worked. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not an actor. You're working with real actors, so you've got to learn from, what they're getting. I used to do a gag about the wee woman comparing me to Robert De Niro, See, compared to Robert De Niro, you're shite. It's an old gag. But things like that. I've still got pals that were in the High Road, and still, like the guy that played Lafferty, Simon Weir. I don't know if you know Simon. He's a great big Celtic supporter. I'll tell you a story about him.
What's his involvement with Third Lanark?
I think
he's got something to do with it, hasn't he? Try to revive it or keep the story going or something.
Well, him and the guy that played the Polish, Alan McHugh, both big Celtic fans. We were really close, And when Seville came round, Simon says, I couldn't believe he couldn't get a ticket, but I got him a ticket, right. For Celtic Park. And McHugh went, I says, do you need a ticket? No, he says, I'm not going. He says, I can't afford it. This is weeks before, But anyway, the 2 days before it, he phones me and went, I know you're going to shout at me. He says, is there any chance? And I phoned somebody, and I got him it. I said, you've got to go to the hotel and pick it up when you get to Seville. So he goes into the match. Who's he sitting beside? Simon Weir.
Wow.
Sat beside each other. And I'd go to 2 of my tickets. Weeks apart. It was just, Fitbas. I love Fitba. I love I'm going to tell you something. I love the Rangers. I obviously love the Rangers. He loves the Motherwell. And I don't know who you love. Kirkintilloch, right? Partick Thistle, of course.
You put the mic to your mouth.
You're a Celtic man, Peter. So that's your team. You you've just got to go and watch your team. But we played Marseille, right? We were getting a doing, 2-0. We got a 2-each draw at it. And I fell in love with a guy that was playing with Marseille, Frank Sosie.
Oh.
And see, when he played with Hibs, I went to Firhill, I think it was a Scottish Cup replay or something, just to watch him.
Yeah.
You know, because I thought he was just a genius. I thought he was a great player. And I've always been like that. Like, I saw Hibs playing a European Cup tie at Firhill. Who were they playing? Djurgården, a Swedish team.
Yeah.
They won 2-1. It's because Djurgården's ground was frozen, and they to move it, and they moved it to Firhill. And I was brought up in Rutherglen, thinking of football that was round about us. Shawfield, Hampden, Cathkin.
Yep.
Right, and if the Rangers were away at Aberdeen, I would go out to Cathkin, collect bottles,
Yeah.
and take them back to the Quarry Bar. You know, that's the way it was. Football's in your blood. You know?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, Tam, I don't know if you're aware of this. This is how sad it is, because obviously it's 78. I'm at school. I've just started secondary school. The B side.
The B side.
The B side. Do you know that?
Was it the punk rocker?
Aye.
I remember that. Aye, of
the
course.
song.
Aye.
You remember it, Roughie?
I don't remember
The
it,
lyrics
but
are to die for.
Aye,
Did you write them?
No, a wee guy called Peter Nardini.
Oh,
Who
right.
I think is related to the guy that did Doctor Who.
aye.
And all these, you know, they're all connected somehow. He came from Hamilton, Peter. I thought he was a genius with words, you know.
You wrote a great song about Sydney Devine as well. You
That's
must have heard
right.
that one.
I
Brilliant
wish I
song.
could sing like
Aye.
Sydney. I tried it once, but I couldn't. What was the line that done me in my song was, I'd like to walk into a cafe and make them all feel sick with a great big rusty safety pin sticking through my cheek. I'd like to take my finger and do something off it, like pick my nose and dip it in my coffee, you know. And my wife went like that, "You're not singing that." I said, "Of course I am. Of course I'm singing it, you know."
The chorus was to die for as well.
Aye, it was-
the B side, if it was a footballer, the B side had to be "We're out the World Cup." You could have
Something
done
like
that.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you know, I minded when you're looking through Andy's career, a wee trivia question for you, Peter. The iconic TV show that links me and Andy.
Now, is it the hour?
No. No, you. Well, no matter what I asked him there, he was going to mention that, wasn't he? No, it's actually, I'll give you a clue, Jane Frankie.
Jane Frankie. And there's a show that links
Yep.
the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, go on.
Super Scott.
Aye.
Super Scott.
Oh,
Andy
yeah.
had won the most episodes of Celebrity Super Scott when they used to turn up on BBC now and again, and maybe even in Scottish Cup final day when they used to
right.
do a proper day's broadcasting. And I am the reigning champ. They brought
Yes,
it back as
right,
part
aye.
of the 40th anniversary, and I just pipped Andy. We get through to the final, and I only just pipped him. So they've not done another episode. So I'm the reigning champ of Super Scott,
Roughie,
and
we-
Andy won the
I
most
remember that
episodes.
one, aye.
We need to bring that back.
Aye.
Here was
Talking
that.
about, oh, sorry, Tom.
Well, they brought it back. They brought it back for the 40th anniversary BBC Radio Scotland. So it was done for the radio then. But in the TV episodes, Andy holds a record. Who were the other celebs that you'd have beaten in the days?
Oh, Alan Stewart.
What was the
Johnny
singer's? Callum Kennedy's daughter.
Aye, that's right. I can't remember her
Her
first
name. She was always on it.
it
Things
not
like
Fiona
That's her
Kennedy?
married name, eh?
Aye.
Fiona?
Fiona Kennedy,
Fiona.
that's right, aye.
Folk like that would
Aye.
always
It's a
turn
real
up. It was a
talented
great wee
lassie.
programme.
Yeah.
Great wee programme.
Go on.
Sorry, no. At that time, there was programmes like Shammy Dab on Grand Prix
Oh, aye.
Television, right? I need to tell you, this is quite current, actually. I'm a captain, right? George Duffus is the other captain. In my team is Una McLean on this side and Philip Schofield. What a lovely guy, right? We're sitting, and it's all the audience is all the farmers' wives and all that, and farmers. There's maybe about 200 of them up in this bank of seating. And I nudged them, and I went, "You're getting a flash there," you know. And he went, "Well, this is the front row." And it's this big farmer's wife, and her legs are... and she's got the Harvest Festival, so you know, all is safely gathered in, the bloomers, you know, that size, right? And he started laughing, and you know how he does it on the telly? They stopped the recording, right, and makeup and everything, they were lovely. And I did telephone numbers down in London with him, and we were just sitting having a coffee, and that Emma Forbes was his partner on it. She's a really nice lady, and we're sitting having a coffee. This was after the show, and I said, "You know, tell Emma about your bird in Aberdeen." And he looked at me, you know, and I says, "Don't tell me you don't write to her or nothing. I said, she gave me the biggest flash of her, and it clicked with him, you know. He's a really, really nice guy. And just, I'm sitting there, I come down the stairs the other day there, and Norma says, you'll not believe it. She says, Philip Schofield has come out as gay, you know. I says, I know.
Now, I
was shocked that you'd ever get a confession like that for a guy that was a star in the musicals and presents an ice dancing show. I nearly fell off the sofa. Exactly. Incidentally, as he'd seen The Farmer's Wife, this is true, and I don't joke about this, but I have seen Miss Scotland's Shireen. This was, I won't even name the girl, but she was a guest on our TV programme once upon a time. And basically, it's just sort of, I've not got a joke about it, it's just the sort of thing you can never forget. But I went into the dressing room to say, oh, by the way, here's a wee couple of heads up things for when we do the programme. I might ask you that, And as I went in, this delightful young lady was doing her hunkers, putting the finishing touches to her toenails in this amazing red, very sheer dress. The sort of dress, which gets me to my main point, that would have been spoiled if she'd have worn underwear beneath it.
Okay.
So not a stitch on beneath. She was doing her hunkers, and just as I walked in, perfect angle, and I'm sure it winked, and that was that, and I went back out on my tail.
Wait a minute.
Happy as Larry.
By the way,
I'm 79. I don't even know what you're talking about, you know.
But by the way, there's something else you've got in common with Roughie, because obviously you were married to a Miss Scotland anyway.
No, Miss Scotland, no. No, I was going out with Miss Scotland while I was married, but I wasn't joking.
I know.
A well-known Olympic star, right?
Yeah.
And I did I'm not telling you where because it'll give your name away.
Right.
A stunning, a real darling.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready, right? And she opened the toilet door, you know. Right. And she came out and she says, could you hand me that over? And my eyes nearly fell out. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, the whole picture, you know what I mean?
The whole shebang.
And I was looking for somewhere to hang my jacket to, but you know, what?
Oh, aye.
I mean, it's just
what bread Fatima? Is that who it was?
No.
Did you phone Sharon Davis afterwards?
I said Shireen and Angie. No help from Kelvin Hawes.
Now, I've got to ask you. We've talked about all the shows you've been on. I've got to get to your love of Rangers because you've seen a right good few teams. Now, I'm going to say this to you. I don't know. I can't gauge, and you'll be able to guide me on this, but of a certain age, and I've written it down here, and I don't know. I'm going to lift this, right, because I've written it down just because of, obviously, from my own point of view. My own age, and I wasn't born when this team came out, but I'll read it out to you and you tell me if you had seen them play, because every Rangers fan I speak to of a certain age, like yourself, says this one.
Can I preempt you?
Go on then.
Richie Shearer, Caldow, Greg McKinnon, Baxter, Henderson, McMillan, Miller, Brandon Wilson.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was any Rangers supporter of my age, you know, would say, aye, that was a great team. It was a fantastic team. But because I was born in London and brought up to my granny, right, who was a real, how can I put it, a socialist with a small S. You know, everybody had a chance, and she would never hit me. She'd say, go and get me something to hit you with, you know, that kind of thing. And I'd bring her back a balloon and that, you know. So but my dad had remarried, right?
Yep.
And in 1949, Scotland played England at Wembley. It's called Jimmy Cowan's Wembley. Now, right, Uncle Jim, Uncle Joe, we're going to Wembley. We'll take the rain with us so they can see his dad, right? And I went to Quarry Bar bus, and they sat me on the stanchion at Wembley, and Scotland won 3-1. And I can remember Willie Waddle was outstanding. The forward line was Waddle, Mason, Houliston, Steele and Riley. Houliston was maybe the last Queen of the South player to play for Scotland.
Yeah.
Anyway, about 3 weeks later, it was on the Pathy News, right, in the Rio Cinema in Rutherglen, and it showed you Willie Waddle, and I went, I was at this game, at that game. I mean, shut your fucking, going to belt me because he thought I was lying to him, you know. It's incredible. Things like that. Kids nowadays, my two boys grew up with a 9 in a row.
Yeah.
I've got 2 grandsons that have grown up with the Sevco thing, you know. So it's all different.
And again, he's talking about kids for the benefit of younger listeners to the podcast, Peter, astonishing there. A forward line with 5 names in it. Yeah. 5 up front. That's the way you should do it.
Absolutely.
Who is that your favourite team?
Aye, I have to say that. And remember, Ian McMillan used to come into the training on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. He trained Tuesday and Thursday night. He was a part-time player.
Wow.
And he's still alive. I think he's got something to do with it. A lovely man. Really, really nice. And a gentleman, the wee Prime Minister. That was his nickname.
Yeah.
You know?
And if that's your favourite team, you know, you've played, you've watched some players play down through the years, some great Rangers players.
Aye.
Which one still holds a special place in your heart?
From that team, Jimmy Miller. But all over, you know, in all the years I've watched Rangers, Gascoigne just makes me, you know, I'll never forget the day we beat Hibs 7-0. It was the day the referee dropped a yellow card and he ran up and gave him it, which turns my stomach. But anyway, he beat 5 Hibs players, 2 stewards, 4 Polish, 2 ball boys, and put it in the net. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
He was outstanding. He was incredible. And the guy's got issues, you know, and I feel really, really sorry for him. But I thought he was a fantastic player. The guy that went to Motherwell, Davy Cooper, fantastic.
Yeah.
Bobby Russell, who also went to Motherwell. Tom was speaking about him earlier outside. Guys like John Gregg, who during Celtic's first 9 in a row, Greggy carried Rangers on his back, and they were in 2 European finals.
Yes.
I was at the one in Nuremberg, and I still don't understand how Rangers lost that game.
And that's 1967.
67, it was the week after Celtic won the European Cup.
Yeah.
And then in 72, you go to Barcelona and they win it, and they don't get presented with it. You know,
Yeah,
they can't go because the punters are on the pitch.
Yeah. And with that in mind, is there a specific game that you think? I mean,
Yeah.
Tam always waxes lyrical about 91 and Motherwell in the cup final because it's so special. Roughie's got 71 with Thistle.
My favourite ever Rangers game, right? PSV Eindhoven were the team in Europe. They were going to do it. You know, it was great.
Is this Bobby Russell?
Aye, they come to Ibrox, nothing each. I'm in Dick's bar, and there's Hugh Taylor, wee Jimmy Sanderson, you know, all the guys, Big Alan Pod, the Prince of Darkness, Big Alan Davison, and we're saying, he's a root, you know. Betty's anything you like, because goals count. If you get a goal, we've got to get 2 to beat it.
Yeah, what year's this, 78?
78.
Yeah.
We go there, right, I'm sitting there, they score in 23 seconds, Eindhoven. 1-0 at half time, right? I'm in the toilet and there's a row of one-armed bandits. You know, let us in, burst, right? And this wee guy come in, I'll never forget it. He'd a bonnet with about 100 badges on it and a scarf with 200 badges on it, you know. And he's let us in. He got in about 2 a line for me, and he went, "Lucky bastards, they started before we were ready."
But the game was magic.
So in the second half, Rangers equalise.
Yeah.
Right, you're through. Then they score 2-1. They score again. We score again, 2 each. And Gordon Smith told me this actually. What I remembered was Tam McLean getting the ball, slipping it through to Bobby, and him slipping it under the keeper. And I was saying to Gordon Smith, and he went, "But who gave Tam McLean the ball?" I said, "I don't know." He says, "That 40-yard pass cross field right to his feet, Gordon Smith." And I didn't remember that, you know. That was my favourite ever Rangers game. Right?
Yeah, the one thing, and I think this is something that I think when people look back, apart from, you know, we've gone through the television stuff, the comedy stuff, your love of football, the one thing that I think gets the tremendous respect at a time when it was very difficult to make a stand on sectarianism.
Aye.
I look back on that, I think that was a very brave thing to do at a time when really you could have been ostracised by all and sundry.
Well, what I remember about it is that I stood up to say that Jock Wallace had been brought back to Ibrox. I said he was 4th in line because Ferguson and Jim McLean were the 2, and John Lyle of West Ham was in, and then they thought about Jock Wallace. Jock Wallace had won 2 trebles in 3 years.
Yeah.
I said, and I stood up to say he should have been the first one, get him back because he knows what the club's all about. And then I said, and by the way, is it not about time we were signing players for ability rather than what school they went to? You know, that was what I said. And the papers had, you know, they sort of spin it a bit. I was spat on and jostled and nobody came near me, right? Guys were shouting at me and all the rest of it. And John Payton, who was the chairman of the Rangers at the time, I was standing there with a coffee and he come up, he had a coffee, and he said the right thing, he just said it at the wrong time. You know, and that was it. I went to Dundee. My daughter and I went to Dundee in the Saturday, and we're in the queue, and it was like you're right, wee man. We should sit. And then, you fucking talk. You know?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a mixture, you know. I just think I've always thought it. Being brought up with a granny like that, people are people, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're a Catholic, I always remember a wee guy I worked with in Roots in the car factory. He went, trouble with your team, as he says, if Pelly wanted to play for us, he couldn't because of his religion, and it's so right that. You know,
well, do you know what it reminds me of, Andy? And it's a strange thing, and I don't want to dwell on it. I just think it's something that you should be applauded for. Is the fact that Jock Stein used to say, you know, let's sign all the best Protestants first. He said, because we can get the Roman Catholics later.
But
you know what I mean?
See, and there's a big change. You know, you're talking about pals, right? What your pals did. There's another story about Rangers and Celtic at Ibrox. It's a big cup tie, right? There's sort of neck for a league, but this is a cup tie to get through to the semi-final. And the two guys, right, I'll meet you outside. And the guy comes up with the crowd. He says, what's happened to you? Oh, he says, I fell at the work night, so I broke my ankle. All right, he says, where's the tickets? And he goes, oh, fuck, no. He says, I've left them on the mantelpiece. And he says, look, I know where you stay. He says, I'll run it 4 blocks or 4 streets away. I'll go and get. So the guy runs back, goes into his house, goes up behind the cloak on the mantelpiece, and hears a noise, and he turns round. Here's the guy's wife in bed with another guy. And he goes, oh, fuck, and he goes away back, and he goes, oh, jeez, how am I going to tell him and that, you know? And he goes, listen, he says, I've got the tickets now. He says, but I'm sorry to tell you, he says, I looked around, there's your missus in bed with another guy, you know. He says, I've got worse news for you. He says, fucking Baxter's no playing. You know? And the old Lex McLean gag of it.
Lex McLean, that's great.
Two Rangers supporters. I've seen you again, Bobby, you know. I said, didn't get married now, you know, and she said, I'm not going to the FIP. What? She said, I'm not going to the FIP, man. You know, he says, look, that in a mind tried it as well. He says, do what I did. He says, I just took her, you're not going to the FIP, right over my knee, took her pants down and leathered her arse, he says, and I go to the FIP. He says, I'll do that, Lex, I'll do that, Bobby, or whatever it is. He says, so he meets him in the pub, and I'll see you on Saturday. Meets him in the pub on the Monday. What happened to you? So you're going to fit? Oh, he says, I don't. He says, you don't do what I did. He says, she says, you're not going to fit. And I says, come here, you. Threw him over, I pulled her pants down. I went, fuck, the Rangers are not playing that well anyway, you know. That's the Lex McLean guy, which I always remember. You know?
It's brilliant. Listen, just before we finish, you know, I've talked about players and things that you love and things that have inspired you. Is there a comedian that you actually, down through the years, that you thought, that's maybe what inspired me to get into the gags or something like that? Because I know you helped Armando Iannucci.
Aye,
I did. But I think he's just brilliant.
He's a genius.
I think he's brilliant.
He's a genius.
He is
think
brilliant.
He's brilliant. I mean,
Brown up. Who's your top 3 then and now? Who would be the ones, an inspiring figure when you were starting out in your career, and then who's the one now you can still watch over and over again?
Robin Williams and Connolly. Both of them, they're the 2 best comedians I've ever seen. Connolly and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But
what made them brilliant in your mind?
They'd no fear.
Yeah.
Absolutely no fear, you know, and he's got no fear. And I've got fear. I'll go in it and I'll go, I can't do that. There's a woman sitting there.
Yeah.
I've still got that in my head. But can I tell you something? There's a guy, Sean something, Irish boy, he's quite a good comedian. He's dead now. He died a couple of years ago. I thought he was quite good, but there was on this.
He was a guy that used to be a team captain.
I know he was funny.
Buzzcocks programme.
I can't remember his second name.
He did die very prematurely.
And it was Who's the World, and Connolly was number 1, right? But and Bob Hope was mentioned.
Yep.
Bob Hope, he's not a comedian. Fuck it. He says he had 12 script writers. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. He's still got to get the mic and tell the guy. Bob Hope, great delivery. Guys, all the Jewish comics, you know, George Burns, what's his name? Red Buttons. Red Buttons had a great routine, a routine of it. So here we are at Peter Martin's dinner. Can you imagine? Peter Martin's got a dinner. Think of all the people that never go to dinner, you know. And he did that. It was great. And he'd go, Moses never got a dinner. Moses, who come down from Mount, it says to the people of Israel, you better wear your galoshes. I've not done this trick before, you know. Lovely stuff. All that, and the stuff we were talking earlier about the muffin and all that, different kind of muffin.
It's absolutely brilliant listening to you. I mean, I've absolutely enjoyed it. Roughie, I feel as if in a way maybe you've just cheated us on the podcast because you've had one line.
Well, there we are. I thought he was away.
These two
I think it's just great. It's the same with...
If I could get you one ticket, golden ticket, front row seat for any comedian dead or alive, who'd it be?
Tommy Cooper.
I see, great shout.
Yeah,
What was Tommy Cooper?
Oh, tell us about that.
I'll tell you what. At the Dorchester in Miller Street in Ayr, a guy called John Scarlett ran it, right? And I worked with him. Sidney Devine was doing the support act for him in it's in Bowness. It was a big La Fabrique, and I did it. Sidney got laryngitis. So and that's not a joke, but anyway, he did a thing. You need a wee bit of room, but I'll try and describe it in La Fabrique. I said to him, how will I introduce? He said, just say, ladies and gentlemen, the man you've come to see, Tommy Cooper. He says, have you put the prop on? I says, what? It was a big dance floor, a huge dance floor. He says, there's a prop. He says, it's a white garden gate. And I went, where is it? He says, well, I need to get it. And it's about an hour before the show. Anyway, manager for La Fabrique, I've got it. And he takes me down, and I put it right in the middle of the floor as instructed, He's only one mic, right? And I go, ladies and gentlemen, the man you've come to see, Tommy Cooper. And I hand him the mic. He doesn't say anything. I go, oh. And he lets it die down and he goes, oh. Oh. And he lets it die down and goes, I'm not coming on. And then he goes on and he walks by the gate, right? He walks by it and he goes, oh. And then he walks through it. Freaking beautiful bit of business. Because they're standing up and applauding him. And the story, which is one of these stories that happened to a lot of people, but you know the one I'm talking about, Tam. He had to get the train at 10 to 12 in Glasgow to get down to London on a Saturday night. And he said to the car guy, right, you need to get me to Glasgow. I'll get you there, Mr. Cooper. No problem. You get 25 to 12 outside in Gordon Street. Oh, thanks, son. That's great. And he gives him an envelope. He says, here, that'll get you a drink. Guy can't wait to get round the corner. Right? He opens it up and there's 2 tea bags in it. No, if he did that is fantastic. In the Dorchester, in Ayr, I never saw anybody drinking. I says, can I get you a drink? Yeah. He says, told the girl at the bar to get me a brandy. I said, okay, I'll go in and get it. It's in his a bedroom. So I go away doing it. Mr. Cooper ordered a brandy, and she a half pint right up to the top. And I went, are you sure? She says, that's what he's ordered. And I took him up. He just sat and sipped it. Let me, I know we'll not get time. Jimmy Tarbuck told me a story, and he swears it's true.
Right.
He was a king rat at the time, in the Grand Order of Water Rats. And he had a roller, and he takes Tommy to this big water rat convention thing in London. He says, I'm not driving. He says, I've got the roller. I'm not drinking, rather. I'm driving the roller. He's absolutely gutted, right? He's sitting beside him, falls asleep. It's 4:15 in the morning. It's light. It's in summer. He says, come in, Tarby, come in. No, he says, just, you'll be all right. No, come in. He says, she'll give me pelters, So he goes up, rings the bell. She comes in the night dress and whatever. Oh, right. He says, I'll put coffee on, Jimmy. Come in. He said, no. She says, come in. I'll put coffee on, try and sober him up. He goes into the lounge with Tommy Cooper, right? She goes in to make the coffee. 2 or 3 minutes, he's blethering away. Next thing, he says, you see it coming. Right out of the coffee table. And she comes through, and she's going to Tarbuck, you'll feel better now, Jimmy, you'll get that up. Tarbuck swears it's true, which I think was fantastic.
Brilliant. Listen, we've gone through the heroes. It's been an absolute joy. I mean, listen, we could have done this for another hour, Roughie.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yep,
Not to chat to him, just to see if we can get something out of you.
No, I think it's great. The guests we've been in. I mean, the last 2 or 3 guests is fantastic.
And it was just having a
listen.
100% cheery guest, because
Yes.
it was absolutely brilliant the last couple of weeks with Andy McLaren and Big Andy Ritchie, but some of it was heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah, that was an absolute joy. And to leave us, I mean, I asked Andy Ritchie about 3 words that would sum him up. How would you like to be remembered when you look back at this fabulous career?
A decent human, decent human being. That's 3 words.
Yeah.
That's
I'm away again. That was lovely. Right, we're talking about, you can't finish, we're talking about tears with a moment. It's the stuff of legend. It's in Scottish folklore. You've got to do it before you finish. The famous gag for the Wayne when Andy Cameron Sunday night.
This is magnificent. Well done, well remembered.
These as you go through life, things like that happen to you. You all know what I'm talking about. I'd never done an outside broadcast, right? And I was doing all right. The radio, a 13-week series which lasted 15 years, right? We need to go out and do it. And I said, look, where? We'll go around all the seaside towns, right? First one was Aberdeen, 1981. We're inside the beach ballroom, and it's a beautiful sunny morning. They say, right, you need to do promos. We're going to have it outside. 1,400 people turn up. And I'm going like that to the producer, Phil Whittaker. I says, jeez, Phil, I don't know what to do here, What do I do? I can't just go, this is Bobby Darren singing Dream Love. He says, no. He says, get in amongst them and talk to them. You like talking to people. I says, I'm not happy with that. It's this, hello, what's your name? He says, no, we've got a guy with a pack and a mic, right? Okay, that's so new to me, technically. And anyway, I'm going through, you're the usual, hello, what's your name? Mrs. McFarlane. Where are you from? Castle Milton, Glasgow. Oh, you're on holiday? No, we're up shoplifting. But how many is there of you? 4 busloads. When you're on shoplifting, no, there's an empty one to take the swag home, all that kind of stuff. And this wee boy, the Rangers top one. Now, in 1981, the kids didn't have replicas. So I've stopped. I said, what's your name? Colin. I says, how old are you? He said, I'm 8. I says, that's enjoying your holiday. I'm not on holiday. He says, I'm biding in Aberdeen. I said, you can't be a Rangers. Aberdeen's got a great team. He says, no, my dad takes me to see the Rangers, comes to Glasgow. I said, okay. I says, nice to speak to you. And he's grabbed my jacket. Can I tell a joke on the radio? So you look at the mother and father, right? And they go, aye, on you go. I said, what's your joke? What vegetable makes your eyes water? Oh, I said, up by an onion. He says, no, it's a turnip. I said, how does a turnip make your eyes water, son? You ever been hitting the buds with a turnip? You know the best bit? I look at the mother and father and they go, he's an awful boy. The other one was a wee boy in Arbroath. Wee boy in Arbroath, Andrew his name is. Now, an outside broadcast I learned this, that they give you a clock and you've got maybe, you take whatever time you have to say goodbye, but you must stop before the pips, that time, right? And it comes up like, beep, 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 beep. This is Ian Aldred. At 1 o'clock, very, very posh now, So this wee boy comes up. I've got about 55 seconds. It might not seem a long time, but it is a long time. And he comes up, can I tell a joke? I said, what's your name? Andrew. I said, you need to be quick. Okay, how many animals can you get into a pair of tights? I said, I don't know. He says, a pussy in as many hairs as you like. Beep, 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 beep. This is Ian Aldred. You wouldn't believe the memos ago, you tried it. You never tried it.
Aye.
And on
That's
the perfect way to finish.
Okay.
Right, go.
Not a day with tights or anything like that, but it was just talking about the pips and how, sometimes folk can get it wrong. We were about to finish a show one Saturday. It's coming up to near 2 o'clock. Handing out the sports sound and whatever, but they still had the continuity announcers. Andy mentioned a famous one there, Ian Aldred.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, a guy who only just retired, a great guy. He used to introduce Andy's old STV show from sitting in the chair, continuity announcer, Tony Curry.
Oh, aye, Tony Curry,
lovely guy, right?
Really nice
and,
man.
So anyhow, Tony was still doing it. So I think they don't do now. One show just hands to another now in Radio Scotland, but Tony was still there. Anyhow, on our show, we had been talking, don't ask me about ducks. Ducks came up. We were talking about ducks or something, right? Tony, who liked joining in and playing his wee part and all that. Tony, the minute he turned ducks, he was away to the props department to get one of the wee duck quacker things. I think Ronnie Barker always had one. And the two Ronnies, quack, 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 quack. He went away to find one of these, right? And he clearly got one. So we finished at 2 o'clock, and Tony just says, well, thank you, boys, for another good show. And he went, quack, 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 quack. Here's the news. First time news, somebody says 7,000 people are dead now in an earthquake in Turkey. And there's a famous one about
Grant Stott tells it about somebody else. I don't know who the guy is, but I heard it was Bill Bartley, right? And he's been at a gig and he comes in at 11 o'clock. He starts, right? The boy goes to him, Bing Crosby's did. He said, "Oh, right, I'll play it for, just get us an album, right?" And he plays. I can't remember the name of the song now, but he puts it on. He says, "That's dreadful news, absolutely dreadful news. One of the great icons of show business, Bing Crosby's dropped dead on a golf course in Spain." He says, and this was just to take a thought about him, because he was a great entertainer. And he opens the fader, and the first line is, "Heaven, heaven, heaven." Dancing cheek to cheek is a song.
And there's another one like that, right? No, there is another one like that. That's a famous one. It might be apocryphal as well. It was about the woman who was called Sally.
Yeah.
And she died. And she said, well, for just as the coffin's going away and the curtains are closing, could we play Sally by Gracie Fields? But they put the wrong track on, and as she goes, it's "Wish Me Luck as you wave me goodbye." There's your point to finish.
Absolutely.
The best guest we've had, bar none, thanks to Roughie and Tam Cowan, but of course our special guest has been absolutely magnificent. Don't forget you can listen to the podcast across all the audio networks, and if you go on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, you can watch it and see the interaction. It's been a joy. Andy, thank you for joining us.
Can I just say hello to my boys? Elliot's in Mallorca, all right, son, and Spencer in Dubai. Okay, don't worry, we'll come back, all right?